welcome to the launch of UnderstandingE.
And first of all, Happy New Year!
Woohoo!
So we really do hope you don't have a cracking hangover for last night.
Unless you deserve it.
You probably deserve it if you've been out drinking. Well done you, and Happy New Year. And 2014 is going to be a big year for you, and it's also going to be a big year for us. And in this video, we're going to share with you what we've got lined up for you. Now, we had to start somewhere, and we've made two assumptions with UnderstandingE, just two. The first assumption is that we have assumed that you have an existing eBay business, and also that you've never used Magento before.
Now, we know that this is going to be a very low level for some of you, but we had to start somewhere, and by starting right at the bottom, we can include as many people as possible.
Indeed, and this is us thinking into 2014 and into 15 and into 16. This is a low enough level for us to cover as many bases as possible. We want to go lower than this as well. Let's make no bones about this. We know that if you're listening to this right now, you most likely already have an eBay business. You probably already sell on Amazon and the other marketplaces as well. But we do need to go down a level as well, and also up a level in the guides which we're creating for you. So, Dave, onto the guides which we've got.
Yeah, so we have a collection of 26 video guides that will get you started with Magento. And in these guides, we're going to show you a variety of things, but some of the things that we cover is how to choose a domain and a web hosting provider.
Which is absolutely crucial. We're dealing with Magento here, and it's a bit of a beast, and you need quality web hosting. And just to add a little bit of a dynamic here, for the last couple of days, I've been doing 9 to 5. No, that's not 9 o'clock to 5 p.m. That's 9 o'clock to 5 a.m. And the day before that was 9 to 4. And you can guess that was an a.m. as well. And for the days before too. And yesterday we had to hit the panic button, and the panic button was that the UnderstandingE site was not fast enough. And Dave's laughing.
I don't know of any other business who would decide to swap their host on the day before launch, but we did it.
And we're now running on simple servers, and that's one of the reasons. And as you start watching these guides, the site is quick, and we suggest simple servers because they are so fast.
So then we look at Magento for the first time, and that covers a few things. We look at the basic settings in one guide, and that's a boring one, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah, it's a boring one, but it's not as boring as the one which we did for running before you can walk, because we knew that we were going to cover the basic settings for Magento, which was going to be a little bit deep, and it was going to be a bit of a heavy one, but it was so necessary because that's where you set up your currencies, you set up your countries and your locale for Magento, and it's like the foundation for the rest of the guides which are coming on. But that we were saying that one's boring, but I'm the editor here, and I'm the guy which is doing the video editing, and I can tell you that the running before you can walk, that one's been already earmarked for redoing already.
We then look at setting up an FTP and how to get custom email addresses or personalized email addresses from your domain name. We then look at how we can add your first product into Magento and get you familiar with the categories and the customer groups, attributes and attribute sets.
You'll also meet our best practice attributes and how to create variation products. And that section's actually a key section, because this is where we turn Magento from a website system, and you'll start meeting the attributes like the eBay title, the Amazon title, the ASIN. This is where we start molding Magento into a multi-channel tool.
And finally, we look at Magento Connect, and we install our first extension, which is the Grids extension. It's free and it's incredibly useful, but if you don't want it, you don't install it. That is the third generation. It's the generation of choice.
That is it. It's the generation of choice. Now, I've suggested that extension on purpose, and number one is because it's one of my most favorite extensions for Magento, because it adds in features which you're used to in the second generation providers. So you can add an image in your product catalog. You can add any other attributes which make sense for you in your business, where you can manage your products in Magento. But there's also another little sly reason for this, is because we want you to stumble into problems with Magento Connect. So if there's going to be a problem with Magento Connect, it's going to happen now. And that's the other reason why we show you how to install the Grids extension, so that if you do run in with file permissions issues, that you can contact your web host and get those solved for you before you go and hit M2E Pro. And again, this is us thinking of not only more advanced users, but more basic users as well. Maybe somebody who hasn't been and used a third-party tool like this before.
Bad news is we do have a couple of guides that are currently missing, and these are the UnderstandingE admin theme guide and the following guide on how to install it.
Now, we are on it, and there is a reason why these aren't ready yet, and that is because it was only about 12 o'clock yesterday, so that on December the 31st, that we actually ironed out a business model for UnderstandingE. Now, that may sound crazy to you, but that's us putting you first before us. Ultimately, we do need to pay our bills. I'm sat here in front of 3 computer screens and they suck up a lot of electricity, and I have a family and we've got to pay our bills. But that wasn't our main priority for UnderstandingE. We wanted to try and create the best guide possible. And that does mean that we've not hit the target, which was quite ambitious, let's be fair, Dave.
It was.
For today, which is January the 1st, 2014. But we are on it. And over the next couple of days, with not only these 2 guides, but the rest of the guides, which you'll find out about in a few moments, we are on it. And as soon as we've got them live and published and to a level where we're really happy with, we will let you know. And this will be a collection of blog posts, which will pop out. We'll probably email you at some stage as well, so that once we've got a group ready for you, we will let you know.
So moving on, we also have 9 M2E Pro guides that are specialised in the setup and configuration to the way that we suggest doing it.
We'll actually cover with you what M2E Pro actually is. We'll show you how to install it, and we'll go one stage further because we'll cover the theory with you first and then take you through. We'll hold your hands in the actual practical side, which is installing and setting up M2E Pro for eBay.
We then show you how you can add products into M2E Pro from your Magento inventory. And a crucial one is where you can get help if you need it. If you run into any problems with M2E Pro, we have a whole raft of areas where you can go for support. And finally, we look at how we can set up the config settings and configurations that are needed for M2E Pro.
But we do have more coming soon, and what we have achieved has impressed both myself and Dave, but there is much, much, much more to come. Obviously, we've got the admin theme and how to install it. Those 2 missing guides are going to come in the next couple of days. And we've got this whopper of a section called Creating, Managing and Listing Inventory to eBay.
And in this section, this is where we get deeper into Magento and M2E Pro, and we start looking at item specifics and the 2 methods that we have available for us of how to handle them within M2E Pro.
We've got a simple method and we've got an advanced method. And again, this is us thinking of the different styles of business owners which would be using Magento and M2E Pro for their businesses on eBay.
We then dig a little deeper into how we would handle variation products and multi-variation products for eBay. And we show you a colossal tool for importing products called Magme, and as we've dubbed it, the Swiss Army knife for importing into Magento.
Oh, absolutely. And in the Magento data flow, and I'm quite rude about the Magento data flow manager in one of the guides, but it's not what you're really used to, whereas Magme is a Swiss Army knife for your business.
We're also going to show you how you can use listing templates for eBay, and that will just speed up the listing process no end. And we'll show you how you can get your products downloaded from eBay and get them ready to import them into your Magento system.
Yeah, which is the one thing which apparently is missing from eBay. So we've been and written a site, which I still need to do stage 2 for, so that you can actually use it. But we'll show you a tool which you can use to actually export all your current eBay listings from eBay, and then create a file which you can then directly import using Magme into your Magento system.
And just to give you a bit of a heads up there, CML is a monstrous section, but it is very close to being completed. We have about 20 guides which are recorded and ready. They just need a little bit more polish for us to be happy with them, to publish them, but they're not far away at all.
Indeed. And there's additional guides amongst those as well, where we go into the advanced and also the supplementary guides, because remember, we're trying not to assume, we're only assuming two things: that you already have an existing eBay business and you've never used Magento before. So we cover things like how to set up user accounts and the order management flow, so how you can actually process orders in Magento. So that one burning question, which I'm sure you've got, is where can I start? And we want you to feast yourself on the guides which we've been created. And you can view the guides at understandinge.com/guides. Now, you will need to be logged in, and if you're watching this video and you haven't joined us yet, just go to understandinge.com/join. Just pop your email address in, some basic details, and you'll be able to get started right now.
But one last thing, we need your feedback.
We really do. And underneath every single guide, there is a comments box. And we need you to tell us what you think of each guide. And we've got 3 tips for you to help us under each guide. So every time you watch a guide, can you tell us, what did you like about the guide which you just watched, what you didn't like about the guide, and also how can we make this guide better for you?
What we've been trying to do with UnderstandingE is build the best guide section that have ever been created for Magento and M2E Pro. It's never been done before. There are Magento guides out there, but we want to take them to the next level. And to do that, we need your help.
Yeah, your feedback is so important to this, not only for yourself so we can make better guides for you, but also to make better guides to help other business owners just like you.
And most of all,
thank you. There's no other words for it, really. It's thank you. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing in our journey. But actually, it's going to be our journey. That's you and us over the rest of 2014 and into the future. So thank you very, very much. And nip across them. We'll put the link back up on the page for you right now, and go and dig in. Go and feast yourselves.